Hey guys, welcome back to another public video here on YouTube for cruisecasinomafia.com. So we have been so busy. It's incredible. I thought things would slow down, and that's all they're doing is speeding up. And I've got some thoughts on that. So when we started the YouTube channel, we were going to show you guys really cool strategies for roulette and baccarat and a little bit of craps back then. And we had opened our membership, our private membership, which is now grown and grown. You can join. It's a lifetime membership, one time to get access to over 700 now videos and PDFs and money management, professional money management concepts that you can only get from us, and lots of other mindset stuff, and just a lot of like-minded people that are looking for income outside of just the normal garbage that is being pushed on YouTube, like options and, all kinds of bot stuff and selling crap on all kinds of places that everybody's selling the same thing. People that are looking for something that is legit, not that's easy and they can close their eyes, but something that they can practice, wrap their brains around, understand the volatility, tweak it so that it works for them, and make a paycheck. If that's for you, you want to check out cruisecasinomafia.com. You can join as a lifetime member. But what's happened is over the last year, we started doing collaborations with people that have proven to me that they make money in the casino on a regular basis. These are people that do not have YouTube channels. They're people that do this for a living. And those have like Baccarat Squared and Baccarat Equalizer and so many other things that we've brought out are things that are being used in real life to make real money in the casino or online casinos on a regular basis. Those are extended, what we call paycheck systems. They could be 5, 8, 10 videos long, go into detail, explain everything you need to know about the system, the strategy, the money management, how to build your bankroll. And we're doing a lot of those because that's what people want. They don't want a 5-minute system that just says, hey, this is a miracle. They want to see it in detail. They want more. They want to learn how to do it the way that we're doing it with our private teams that are in the casinos across the United States. And that's what we're doing. So I thought today I would show you again for people that there's a lot of people on my channel and other channels that are basically coming from the roulette world or baccarat, and they don't really know the game of craps. And I thought over the next few videos, maybe I would do some stuff to show you guys not to be nervous at bubble craps or a regular craps table, and explain to you why this game is so different than baccarat and roulette. All right. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you the basics for anybody that's new of what I call a hybrid system. So everything in craps is around the 7. If you have 2 dice, there are more ways to make a 7 with those 2 dice than any other number, right? And that's why the 7 is basically the casino's number most of the time. But there are things you can do, and that's why craps is so different than baccarat or roulette, right? In baccarat, you're betting on banker or you're betting on player. That's it. You're either right or you're wrong. The odds and the math in baccarat are a complete mystery. Complete mystery. We know there's an edge to the banker, but other than that, the math behind baccarat, if anybody tells you they understand it completely, they don't. And that's the problem with baccarat, is that we really don't understand the crazy math behind it. You don't. People think they do, and they want to make it into just an even money bet scenario, and I do that as well. But understanding a lot of the actual math behind baccarat is a total mystery. All right? So in craps, we have a ton of different bets And we know the odds exactly. We know the statistics and the anomalies. And we know everything there is to know about this game. It's not a mystery. And that's what makes it easier to make money, in my opinion, with this game beyond any other game. And we make money on all the other games. This is my personal favorite. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we turn the 7 into our friend multiple different ways. And there's a lot of videos on this channel publicly. And there's a lot of stuff privately in our membership that uses these techniques in various ways. So I'm just going to introduce you to the ability to turn the 7 into your friend. All right. So the puck is off. When the puck is off, we can make a bet. We don't have to, on the pass line or the don't pass. If you make a bet on the pass line and the 7 comes out right away, you're going to win. Okay? You win on the pass line with a 7 or 11 instantly. If you make a bet on the don't pass, which is called like the dark side, and the 7 or the 11 comes out, you're going to lose instantly. Now, that's not the end of the conversation, though. Okay? Now, let's keep going before I get it too confused. The other bet that we're going to talk about is the DC bet, the don't come. This bet cannot be made when the puck is off. We make this bet after a point is established, meaning that this puck travels to one of these numbers. Okay? Now, you understand how the 7 affects the pass line on the come out and the don't pass. So what happens after? If we were to put $5 on the $5 on the pass line, and the roll is a 5. They move the puck to the 5. That's now called the pass. The point. Okay? If you would have had the $5 on the don't pass, your money would still be here. And here's the difference. Now, the 7's always in the driver's seat, right? Now it's against you on the pass line. Because you only have how many ways to make a 5? A 3 and a 2 and a 4 and a 1, right? And how many ways are there to make a 7 where you lose this pass line number? Okay? The odds are not in your favor against any of these numbers when you're on the pass line, once you get past the come out roll. Now, does that mean this is a bad bet? That's not what I'm saying. We're talking about the 7 being your friend in this video, and when it is and when it isn't. The 7 is no longer our friend on the pass line bet now, because there's more ways for the 7 to get rolled than the 5. However, if you were on the don't pass, the 7 was not your friend on the come out roll, but now it is once the point is established here. Because there's more ways to make a 7 than any of these numbers. Okay? So let's roll this out, and then we're going to keep going. So we're looking for a 5, obviously, if we're on the pass line. Let's see if the 5 rolls before the 7. And then we'll keep going with our little demonstration here. All right, the 7 won. You would have lost. Does that mean that the 5 never wins? Of course that 5 wins. We're always dealing with statistics and odds, math. That's why I love this game. In this situation, the math didn't win. The 5 won, even though there's less ways to make it than the 7. But overall, if you keep track of how many times in your session that a 5 is rolled or a 7, the majority of the time and over large sampling, the 7 will always beat out the 5. Okay? All right. So now we talked about the don't pass. So you would have won on the don't pass because your friend is the 7 after the come out roll. So you would have made even money here. Both of these pay even money. So that time the don't pass would have won. Now I want to show you 2 other ways to make the 7 your friend. All right, so this time let's just roll it out. I'm not going to make a bet. All right, the 10. So the point is now 10. So there are 2 other ways to make the 7 your friend. One of those ways, and you've seen me do it, if you're not new to the channel, you've seen me do this. It's one of my favorite bets, and that's called a lay bet. So instead of placing these numbers up here and giving your money to the dealer or doing it on bubble wraps and saying, I want the 4, the 5, the 6, whatever it is, and every time that number gets rolled, you would get paid. But again, the odds of it happening versus the 7 is still in command. So what if there was a way that you could play against these numbers by owning the 7, but picking which one you want, as opposed to the don't pass, where the roll decides where the point is and what you're going up against here, right? And there is, and it's called a lay bet. Lay bets do not pay even money like these. They pay based on based on the odds. Let's just say that and not get it confusing. There's less ways to make a 4 and a 10 by a lot than a 7. So they're not going to pay you because the odds are in your favor so much. So if you were to put $100 lay 4 or 10, you're going to get almost half. A little less than $50. If you lay against the 5 and the 9, you're going to get a little bit more because there's more ways to make the 5 and the 9. So it's closer to the 7. If you lay against the 6 and the 8, it's almost even, but not quite. There are 5 ways to make a 6, 5 ways to make an 8, and 6 ways to make a 7. But you're taking a lot more risk, so they're paying you more. Okay? So as the odds go a little bit more against you, as you're moving inward from the 4 to the 5 to the 6 to the 8, from the 10 to the 9 to the 8 to the 6, they pay you a little bit more, but your odds of winning go down a little bit. So let's look at this 10. That's the point number. If we wanted to lay against the 10, we'd put $100 or whatever you're betting on a lay 10 here. All right? It's the same as this. If we would have had our money on the don't pass, we lose if the 10 comes up. It's the same thing here, but the difference is that this is an even money bet because you're letting the casino choose where the point goes, right? But when we can lay on any number we want and take that money off anytime we want. We can do anything we want. But we're also at the mercy of the odds. So this, if you had the $100 here, you're going to make even money, $100, if the 7 shows up. Here, you're going to make about $48, $49. So let's just play this out and see how the lay bet works. If the shooter makes his 10 or the 7 comes. And there's the 7 immediately. And here on the computer, it pays $40 to $6.34. So do you see how I use the 7 as my friend there? I risked 100 to make a little less than 50. And that's the same on any of these, but the payout is just going to be a little different. Now, the final thing I want to teach you about making the 7 your friend is the DC bet. This is the final way to make the 7 your friend. So we cannot make a DC bet. The other bets you can make on the come out roll, right? And the lay bet, you can make at any time. But this bet, you can only make after a point is established. So let's establish a point. And it happens to be the 10 again. Now, you could put your bet in the DC. So let's do that and put the same $100. So now, it's almost like it's closer to the don't pass and the pass line bets than it was the lay bet. Does that make sense? We're going to lose here on the 7 or 11. We're going to lose. So it's kind of like the don't pass, right? But the difference is we're going to once again allow the dice to determine where this goes behind, just like the lay bet was behind, but we're going to allow the dice to decide where it goes behind. The benefit of this is that you're getting even money like you were here. The negative is that you're not allowing yourself to choose what you're betting against. The 7 versus the 5 or the 6 or the 8 or the 9. You're letting the dice decide. So watch this. Okay, we lost because the 11 came. So just like here, the 7 and 11 lost on the come out roll, we lose here. So that's a negative, right? So let's just replace it so we can do it again. All right, so the 4 came and they're moving us to behind the 4. Now the benefit is that if we had laid the 4 against the 4, we would only win that $46.35 or whatever if the 7 came. But if the 7 comes now, they're going to pay us the full $100. So let's see what happens. We're looking for a 7. Remember, we're making the 7 our friend in this video. And there it is. And we made the $100. So the question, if you're new to craps or bubble craps, is you're going to ask me, well, if I want to make the 7 my friend, what's better? What's better? Well, if you want to make the 7 your friend, the pass line is not the place to be. So you can scratch that off. Now, there's great strategies we use with the pass line. But for the 7 is your friend point of view, this is not the place to be. Now, you get paid on a 7 on the come out here and the 11. But if the 7 or the 11 doesn't come out here, you're then on the losing side for all the next rolls, as we discussed. The don't pass, the 7 is not your friend for that single roll, the come out roll. You have to get past that. So I'm going to show you another wrinkle in this video to get your brain thinking. And you can play with these basic ideas. They're not strategies I'm showing you. These are basic ideas. You can go to wizardofodds.com and you can play with this to understand the differences. That's what I'm showing you in this video before we start showing you anything else. All right? So I'm going to show you one more idea that's a little bit more advanced. Okay? What if we combine these ideas? What if we did a $100 don't pass, which we know the nemesis to the $100 don't pass is the 7 or the 11 right now on the come out roll. But what if we did this? And forget about the money I'm using. It's not about the money. It's the concept. What if we picked the two numbers that have the best odds of not being rolled against the 7? And we already discussed that. It's the 4 and the 10. Those are the worst numbers versus the 7. So there are best numbers to lay against. So we know that this pays 100. We also know that if the 7 or the 11 came out now, we would lose this 100, right? We know that the lay bet on the 4 or the 10 pays about half. So if we wanted to hedge this, we would have to do about $200 here on the lay bet. On the come out, right? Because we're looking to hedge this only for one bet on the come out. Now we're risking what? This loses if the next roll is a 4. We're going to lose this 200. And we're not going to make any money here. Because they're just going to move this puck to the 4. And now we're once again going up against the 4 versus the 7. And if we win, we're going to make 100. Which means we're still down 100. But there are less ways to make the 4 and 10. And more ways to make the 7. So what if we did this hedge? Let's see what happens. The 6 is rolled. It moves over here. That means that this bet survived the come out roll of the 7 or 11. So what we can now remove this bet. You see how we used it as a one roll hedge for this. Now we are in the driver's seat again because there are more ways to make a 7 than a 6. Now, it would be better if it was the 5 or the 9 or the 10 because the odds are with us even more than the 6 and the 8. But you understand that's a little nuance that you can do if you decide that you would want to hedge. Now, let's talk about that one more time. Let's roll this out. 7 versus the 6. And there it is, the 7. So we made our $100. Okay? All right. So now, what about a combination of using the don't pass and the don't come? Ah, that's interesting, isn't it? That's interesting. It's almost like having two don't pass bets. You're going to get the don't pass bet here. And let's say it's a 4. So now we're in the lead, right? It's the 7 versus the 4. So what if we combine now, after the fact of there being a point number established, what if we combine this with either the lay bet after the fact or a DC bet? What would that look like? Well, let's just do that. And then I think we've covered enough of making the 7 our friend in this part 1 video. So now that the point is established, we can put money here. Do we have to put the exact amount that we have here? No, of course not. So what if we put a $25 here? We're going to lose if the 7 or 11 hits. We're going to lose. If the 2 or 3 hits, we're going to win here automatically. The 2 or the 3, but a 7, we would win here, but we would lose this 25. If another number is rolled, as I showed you, it's going to move this behind that number. And that now becomes exactly the same as the don't pass. It pays even money, not like the lay bet. So let's see what happens. Okay, the 11 came. We lost the DC bet. Okay, so let's replace it. Okay, the 6 came. So it moved behind the 6 here. So now essentially we have 2 don't pass bets if you want to understand the way to look at it. So if the 7 comes out, we're going to win 100 and we're going to win 25. But if this 6 shows up, it's going to knock this 25 off. 8, 11, 9, 5, 6. So it got knocked off. We lost our DC bet. So do you see how it's just like being on the don't pass and the number getting hit? It's the same thing with the DC. So let's do it again just so you can see it. So here's another 25 in the DC, and it moves to the 10, which is obviously a much better number for us. There's less ways to make the 10 than the 6. So we're happy with that. So our don't pass is against the 4, and our DC bet, don't come, is against the 10. Does that mean we can't lose? Of course we can lose. But the odds are in our favor. So let's see. We lost here because the 4 was hit. All right? Let's play this out and see if we win this bet. And we do, because the 7 was hit. Okay? So this video is not showing you a system. I only want you to see the way and get it through your brain initially how to use the 7, the various ways we can use the 7 and make it our friend. Now, in the next few videos, we can teach you various ways of using these bets that I use and ways of combining these 7 is your friend bets with the other side of the coin, where we get paid for these numbers getting hit. And that's called hybrid systems. And that's what I like. Most of the time, that's what I play. Versions of hybrid systems on bubble craps and on the regular table. And for me, I believe these are the best ways to make money in this game. There's other ways to make money. There's plenty of great crap strategies. But I like playing hybrid systems. So now that you understand how the 7 is your friend on the pass line and how it's not your friend, how the 7 is your friend and not your friend on the don't pass, how to make lay bets behind here, and also how to use the DC or the don't come. These are all the different components that we can use to create casino income strategies with the 7. And on the next video, we'll start putting some of these concepts together. And in my opinion, these are some of the best ways to make money, not just in the casino. The best ways to make money, period. The best ways to make a paycheck, period. The odds of these numbers versus the 7 never change. The odds of a DC bet never change. The odds of a don't pass before the come out, on the come out, and after the come out never change. I don't have to worry about Federal Reserve changes in interest rates or stock market plummeting due to an international crisis or leaders of countries making stupid comments, regulatory issues that change overnight. None of those things happen to me when I play this game. The odds stay the same. There's no unforeseen stupidity due to governmental regulations or interest rates or plummeting stock markets or anything else. I know the good and I know the bad. And I will take that every day of the week over the gambling that actually takes place in Wall Street. And with that, if you're interested in learning more, this is what we teach at CruzCasinoMafia.com. I'm going to give you a glimpse of this over the next few videos, just like I did in this video. If you want to accelerate your learning and understanding how we use these concepts, that's all you need to do is join Cruise Casino Mafia. You will get access to our Casino Confidential, all the videos, all the different strategies for this and many, many other games, and discounts on the Paycheck series strategies that are above and beyond what we're doing just in the membership alone. They're like boot camps with more than one video, with 8, 10 videos showing you how we make money using concepts. And for those, you're going to get a discount. Members always get discounts on the Paycheck series stuff and anything else we're doing. So that is the 7 is Your Friend introduction. This is the tip of the iceberg. But this iceberg is loaded with gold. You just have to chip away and understand it and practice and learn how to put these things in combination together with the right money management. And nobody can take it away from you. They're not going to change the payout on the 6 or the 8 or the 9 or the 10. They're not going to change the way the Don't Pass works. Can you say that about eBay, Amazon, drop shipping, options trading, your broker? No, you can't say that about any of those things. That's why this is our way to make money. I'll see you on the next video, guys.